Today I'm proud to say I'm getting started on putting the roof on the tiny house finally. It's been a long and arduous process. Not really arduous, but it's just been a long process. And it's a nice day. I mean, heck, I could take my shirt off right now. It's the beginning of November, so it should be cold around here, but it's nice. I'd say it's in the 70s. I'm sweating a little bit, you know, so I'll be able to feel my fingers and everything. And by all rights, it should be colder than Santa Claus's nuts out here. So gonna start by cutting the sheet metal that I got, because I actually got this sheet metal, somebody just gave it to me because I had some extra left over from a project, so it's not cut to size for my roof. And I'm gonna shave it down a little bit, and I got these trim pieces here. These are the colors we're going with, kind of an ocean blue and a galvanized. So yeah, I'm just gonna get this marked out and cut, and then we'll haul it up to the farm and start assembling it. Alright, to get these pieces cut, since there's grooves in them, it'd be kind of hard to snap a chalk line. So I'm using my laser plumb bob. Anyways, got the line drawn in there, and I'll cut this first sheet here and use it to mark the rest of them. Not a problem. I think the cut turned out pretty clean. I'm gonna put the rough edge towards the top of the roof anyways, because it'll be covered by the roof cap. So even though there's some minor imperfections, it's actually not going to show, and this sharp edge will also be hidden. So that'll get me started. I'm just going to repeat the process. Now that I've got them cut, I'm going to switch over to the grinding wheel and see if I can't deburr these edges so that I don't rip up my underlayment and don't cut the hands of my helpers. Presto, just like that. Got them all cut and smoothed out all the cuts on them. And they should be good to go. This is the current state of the tiny house. And it looks like we got some wops up there. That's not good. But they should be kind of slowed down. Right now I'm going to first put on this trim across here. Even though these 2x4s are all out of whack, I'm just going to kind of put it on there. And I can shim it out to adjust it later. But since it has to go underneath the roof sheets, I'm going to just slap it up there. I think that's looking pretty good. I like the color, and it went on there pretty good. In fact, I didn't even really have to shim it. I just kind of backed the screws off. I got it pretty square. After you get gutters and everything else on there, I doubt we're going to be able to notice anything. So, just go ahead and continue with the other side and keep rocking. It's mid-November now, and making some real good headway right now. The temperature is great outside. We're lucky this year because it could have been freezing, but heck, it's like 60 something right now. I could take my shirt off, but I just won't. Anyways, yesterday I got the trench done and the power put in. I've still got to finish at both ends, but the wire's there. Today we're gonna I've had a really hard time getting help out here lately, so it's just gonna be me and Mickey, and we're gonna try to get the roof ready to put on. I've got the end trim put on both sides, so next step is to get the 1x2s put up there. I forget, these of course have a special type of name in trade lingo, but basically just going to take these 1x2s and lay them horizontally across the roof, 18-inch on center, and then we'll screw the metal sheeting down to that. That actually went pretty smooth, and I was originally going to go without putting these runners on here, but I talked to a couple people and they said it's generally recommended, just because if you have your tin right on top of this moisture barrier, you'll end up getting condensation generated in there, which can be detrimental. So I'll put those on. I've actually seen some people on the internet that put vertical runners first and then horizontal runners to get even more air moving in there. And you know, I could have done that, but just trying to keep it simple. I'd say it took about an hour and a half the other night to get these boards on both sides. You can kind of see where my roof got a little bit out of whack, but it's not going to matter. It's just aesthetics mostly. So now, since I can't find any reliable help around here, me and Mickey are going to try to get a couple sheets on tonight. We're racing the sun because it's winter time. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly with the roof. This will be the third time that we've been out here to work on it. First couple times, really only spent about an hour and a half because we're running out of daylight. It's a Sunday now. We've got a couple hours of light left. Ended up being short one sheet on each side. I knew that I was when I began, but since some of the materials got stolen, that's why we're short. So I don't know if we're going to be able to find any of this tin to match it exactly. So today we're going to look and see if some of the stuff, if we got a couple sheets from Lowe's, and we'll see if that'll match close enough. And hopefully it will, so we can finish the roof up today. But oh no, it's coming along pretty good. We were able to keep this side in square pretty well, and this side's just a little bit different, but I can't really tell if that's from the that's from the actual roof being out of square, or if that's from the sheet metal. But anyways, it's not by much, so we won't be able to see it when the gutters get on there. Well, we got all the pieces on of the one type that we had, and it's looking pretty good. Looking square enough for me. You know, the roof line itself is a little bit out of square. Hey, this is the first building I've ever built, so pretty good. Anyways, now we're going to see if this tin that I got from Lowe's is going to look too crazy bad here on the ends. If we can just cut it and use it, it's going to save us a lot of time trying to hunt down where this metal even comes from to get another piece. So I'm just going to have her hand it up to me and we'll take a look at it. Well, this metal actually matches pretty good. I mean, you really don't notice the difference in the pattern just on that last little 18 inches. But we're out here, still haven't got the power hooked up, so we're going to have to do it by hand here with some duck-billed tin snips. We're going to have to make probably 3 cuts at least, so it's going to take a while, but hey, this is how they've been doing it for thousands of years, so we'll just do it that way. Never mind, that was too much of an ass pain. So we took the 8-mile drive back to the house, and I'm just gonna set this thing up and cut it with the cutting wheel. Modern technology, save some time. Well, we got her done. At least got the last of the roofing sheets put on, and started putting on the, I believe it's called the rake. I can't remember. Got that put on though. It's not the tightest work anybody's ever done, but it's all right. It's good enough for me. Good enough for Mickey. You can kind of see right there where we transitioned to that new type of metal. But, you know, I think it'll be just fine. I don't think we'll see any problems from it. So, let that go. It'll be a couple more days at least before I get back out here, because we got I'm double booked all week this week. Starting a new job and trying to finish up an old one, so it'll probably be a while before we can get back out here, but at least for the most part, there's no more rain hitting the underlayment on the roof. That should dry it in a little bit better. We still didn't get the ridge cap up or this other rake trim on the other side, but I think it'll be all right for a week or so. Then we'll get back out here next free chance I get. I really hate to do it, but this son of a bitchin' tree right here with these 2 burls on it, it's actually a black cherry tree. It's actually going to be in my way today, finally, so it's going to have to come down. There's a few other trees, like this one especially, is going to have to come down. There's a few other trees that are too close to the house for comfort. I mean, I don't want a clearing around the house to where I have a freaking lawn that I have to mow, but I do want to be safe because there is ice storms around here, and some of these branches get weighted down. I don't want to damage my investment here. So, I'm going to cut this tree down. Unfortunately, don't have a chainsaw right now because of all the thieving that's been going on around here. So we're gonna just do it by hand, which I ain't scared. I've got a crap ton of use out of this Fisker's recurve pruning saw. It's probably getting a little dull because I have got down in the dirt with it a couple times, but I mean, this especially when they're brand new and they're sharp. And if I actually took the time to sharpen this thing, man, watch. I mean, you can see right now, it's gonna be really easy. Okay, I take it back. That thing really needs sharpened. But anyways, see, not too bad. I don't normally like working on the roof by myself, just for safety reasons. But I've had a really hard time finding reliable help lately. A couple of the guys that I've been working with, they're kind of doing their own thing right now, but that's alright. I did the same thing when I was their age. But usually Mickey has been helping me out here, but I think she's mad at me right now. And I probably deserve it. So it took me a little bit to get this I think this is called a rake trim on the end here, but I got that up there and it's looking pretty good. What you might see, that whitish stuff on there, it's actually still a protective coating on there. I'm just not going to rip that off until I've got everything slid up there so I didn't scratch it, because then you end up with rust. The next step is going to be to put the ridge cap on up there, and I had some problems with that because this metal roofing that I got was actually just given to me, and so I have no idea where it came from. I couldn't find any suppliers around, because for your ridge cap you're actually supposed to put some foam up there first before you put the cap on, and it'll seal. See these little channels here? You'll seal all those up just to kind of prevent birds and bees and whatnot from getting in there. But I don't know, maybe I messed up because I didn't use any foam down here at the bottom. I've never actually done that before. I've only done 2 or 3 metal roofs, but you can see daylight right through these little peaks right here. I don't know if that's going to present a problem or not. We'll just have to solve that in the future. But I was able to find some universal tape. It's kind of like an expanding acrylic tape stuff. And I'm just going to put that in. I'm going to lay the ridge cap up there, mark it out where it's going to be, and then put the tape up there so that the ridge cap sits on that foam. And then just screw it down. And that should be the very last piece, and we'll be all roofed in. Just so you can visually see what's left here. Got these trims on the end. All that's left is just putting the ridge cap on top of this. So what I'm going to do, is just set this thing up here, mark out where it comes to here on the edges, put my foam down, and screw it down. All I can say about this universal foam tape is you should try to avoid it at any cost. It's a total pain in the ass. If you buy your metal, definitely get the metal with the ridge cap tape, foam tape stuff that is actually conforms to the pattern of your metal. I've actually had to go through here and cut every single freaking one and stick them all on there individually. Still not even done yet, but I'm getting there. Anyways, total pain in the ass. Avoid this stuff if possible. Well, I got it laid down, and from up there, it doesn't look too great. The foam's kind of sticking out just a little bit. And my fat ass, because the slope of the roof is too steep to stand up, I had to sit down right on the ridge cap as I was putting it down, so I kind of squashed some of it. But I think all in all, it looks pretty good. I'll be able to sleep at night. And that's just kind of one of the trade-offs between, you know, the slope of the roof. The steeper it is, the quicker the rain and the snow and everything else will slide off of it. And so that's good, but the harder it is to work on. So, I don't know, maybe next time I'll do a little bit shallower slope. I'm not sure, but well, just glad to have this one done. Now all we gotta do is peel off all the dang plastic that was on the trim to protect it. And luckily I thought of it in advance and peeled the plastic off the ridge cap before we put it up, but everything else I did not because I didn't want to scratch it up in assembly. The metal roof on the tiny house turned out pretty good, and we're completely done except for just ripping off the plastic. There's like a plastic film that they coat the whole thing with, that, you know, to keep it from getting scratched. And in retrospect, I probably should have taken it off before I put it up there, because now it's a total pain in the ass to peel it off. But at least the job's done. Here's the waste of the roofing trim. There's about 4 or 5 little pieces here, and I can probably use them for a doghouse, to make a matching doghouse. And as far as roofing metal waste, there's a couple of pieces there. Little piece that we had to trim to finish it up, and then I don't know. There's a few of these, probably 8 or 10 of them. But like I say, it's not complete waste because I'll be able to use it for possibly making a doghouse. And there really wouldn't have been any of this waste if the, at least on the job site, if the material had been ordered specifically for the tiny house. But like I said, we were actually using some material that was given to us from another job, so.